In history, at one point, Cleveland was one of the steel capitals of the world. Not just America, it was one of the steel capitals of the world. Steel over time rusts. That's where the Rust Belt came from. We rusted in our industrialization. Fast forward to DigitalC, when I say we're not rusty, it's because we're something new. It's a new element that does not rust. It's a new element. And as we introduce this new element that doesn't rust, I'm looking at DigitalC, our role continuously would be to tell the story that Cleveland needs to tell about itself and about its people.
In the heart of Cleveland, Ohio, beneath the skyline, beyond the stadium lights, past the bustle of downtown commerce, lies a silent crisis. The digital divide, an issue so deep it swallows futures whole. 14.7% of Cleveland households still had no broadband internet subscriptions at all. None. Disconnected from school, disconnected from work, disconnected from hope. Another 54,000 households cling to only a smartphone, their only bridge to a digital world.
Since 2014, we've been one of the least connected cities in the country. That has a direct correlation to healthcare attainment through telehealth, has a direct correlation to workforce, through education, through basic well-being.
How do you climb when the first rung of the ladder is missing? This is Cleveland. This is our reality. The digital divide is real.
So in 2017, a group of folks got together specifically to do and then publish a research report on this, what we had discovered because of this problem we ran into. Census block by census block around the city, organized that by neighborhood, looked at the income levels in those neighborhoods, and we produced a map, and the map showed in 4 of the, what they call their central office areas, wire center areas, which are the big red brick buildings with no windows that you find in different places. Used to be where the operators worked, now it's where their networks start. 4 of those central offices had not been improved to be able to serve this upgraded service.
Digital redlining is a term that doesn't get used as much because in some cases some might say it's inflammatory, it's provocative, it's necessary. When we look at whole neighborhoods in Cleveland, primarily east side, but even on the west side too, where you've seen dilapidated infrastructure and residents still paying their last to stay connected to that, well, we have an issue.
Redlining, that's when services are denied to poorer communities.
Somewhere at some point, somebody drew a red line around very specific neighborhoods and said, within these areas, we will not do X. We won't provide mortgages, we won't provide home insurance, and in the case that we're talking about now, we're not going to go in and upgrade your telephone system so that you have very high-speed internet of the kind that's available in other parts of the city. What the FCC calls broadband serviceable locations in the city, residential broadband serviceable locations. About a third of them are limited to 2005 quality ADSL service.
When you look at the historic factors for people who were redlined, you know, I can't build wealth because my property values are what they are. I can't even connect digitally at either a meaningful speed or at all because the infrastructure is so bad in these neighborhoods. What does that do to someone's mentality, to their psyche? What does that do when they start having kids? It's passed down. All this stuff is interconnected. The red line forces us to go deeper and further than anyone. because we have to deliver on our promise. This is a promise. This is a purpose-driven promise. We see residents who say, you know what? I got internet on my phone. I'm good. That's the red line. So we're seeing factors and choices that are impacted that are then passed down. Because if grandma doesn't like technology and she doesn't do that, then why would the grandson then study engineering? Why? It's about exposure. So the red line created tunnel vision, and it forced people to look at scarcity, and it didn't allow them to see opportunity.
Because what they left this community is crumbs. We've been left with crumbs, and we were able to take these crumbs though, and we put them together, and we're able to have a recipe to bake a pie.
I'm an educator. I came from years in education, and during the pandemic, my students did not have internet service at home. And I was the one scrambling, dropping off devices that they could use to connect to class, only to find out they could not connect. So I was that teacher, counselor on the phone calling the Big Five saying, could you connect these homes, or could you give us a rate? It was my faulty assumption that families didn't have internet at home because it was one more bill, only to find out that every company I called said, oh no, we don't have service in your area, right? When you call to get service, even at DigitalC, the first thing they ask you is what's your address? And so many of my students, there was no service even available. And that was news to me. That was my revelation about what is this digital divide.
For us, we want to expose people to a better way, to a fuller life, to a fuller digital understanding. As this world is increasingly becoming more digitized, we wanted to arm people with the necessary tools, knowledge, understanding, where they could be limitless online. I would say the big thing that inspired DigitalC to address the digital divide was because no one was doing it to the level that it could be done. We were seeing a lot of people addressing things, but addressing is one thing, disrupting is another. We were perpetually addressing. When you address something, it's almost the foundation is I'm gonna manage this problem. See, the digital divide is not something that should be managed. It needs to be eradicated. When you look at DigitalC is asking the question at the very beginning, how do we connect the unconnected? It was an action-oriented question. It was one that we knew by asking it, we had to deliver to. So asking that question at the onset, how do we do it? It came with the expectation that we were going to be the ones to answer that question. For people to go so long with expressing, man, I hate my internet provider. It never works. It's always out, it's slow, it's expensive. At some point, people just give up. We've seen a lot of people who've given up hope. I remember we were knocking on some doors and some of those homes were in foreclosure. And a moral question was asked, internally to me, do we still connect these people? Are they deserving of internet because their home is in foreclosure? They didn't have it, and we did connect them. They might have been there, and then in the next 2 to 3 months, they're gone. But in those 2 to 3 months, we were committed to making a difference for them, to let them know, hey man, we care, we see you. In this city, sometimes those small acts of kindness, they go a long way. It was heart, it was passion. It was just a thing of a typical Cleveland story where we're like, man, we're sick of having this issue. Let us take up the fight that we know we can take. And let's take it as far as we can go. And so I don't think 10 years ago, we thought that we would actually be running this disruptive network we had. DigitalC's origin, training in classes. And then we're providing Wi-Fi, not home internet, but Wi-Fi in public spaces, Wi-Fi in computer labs. And then it evolves to, what would happen if we provided home internet? What would happen? And so DigitalC began doing that and providing it in like pilots. Let's do a pilot in Glenville, a pilot in Huff, a pilot in Fairfax. And then it was like, you know what? We've learned enough from a pilot. We're ready to fully take this and we're ready to fully disrupt. We're not just disrupting telecom. We're disrupting the way that people show up in community. We're disrupting the way that we stand behind our word. And so I see DigitalC as scrubbing Every day we show up scrubbing the rust. Scrubbing the rust. And it's not just shiny because we scrubbed it. It's shiny because it for real is. This is the first time in Cleveland's history where telecom is being made right in front of everybody, right in front. So we're dissecting innovation on the table.
Members of the Public Utilities Committee of Cleveland City Council, it is an honor to sit before you today to share the story of DigitalC, a leading nonprofit technology social enterprise driven to deploy a premier state-of-the-art network to bridge the digital divide in Cleveland for good.
But I want to make sure whatever decision we make is the right decision on behalf of our citizens and on behalf of the city, because this is $20 million. This is a heavy lift. This is, I think maybe, I'm trying to think in all the pecking order of ARPA funds, this might be one of the biggest, maybe it is the biggest dollar amount. Yeah, that we have focused in one specific area.
That same council that will give us a tough time also voted unanimously for us last year. So it's like, look, I know, and I'm like, everybody I know. And so I'm not mad when they give us that standard and remind us, hey, you said this. I get it, I know what I said. But I also understand that if you had all these other projects in the past that might not have met those expectations, well, you hold us to it then. Hold us higher, actually. I believe that's what they're doing, but good. Because at the end of the day, if the resident who is lingering and their baby might just be the next whatever, well, then every household counts.
$18, what such a deal. Such a deal. I want to make sure it is a deal for our citizens, and that DigitalC has the ability to provide the service to our citizens.
Whenever I see those frustrating moments within these hearings, I have to remind myself it's because they care. And we care too. So I'm like, all right, that's what it's gonna be. We're coming in here on grounds that we care, and whenever you have people who really care about things, it might get hot, it might get testy, but at the end of the day, we go to bed, we wake up, and we got another day to make a difference.
If something seems too good to be true, it usually is. And that questioning DigitalC's ability to perform based on past track record.
We don't just need cheerleaders. I need skeptics too. Because at one point, I remember when city council was asking us questions like, does the technology even work? So they didn't even believe it worked. So I remember going from the technology doesn't work to why don't my residents have it? I said, ooh, I love the evolution of a question. Because I can now see where you are. And so at the end of the day, seeing is believing, they believe. So the fact that we got them to believe, and we didn't do it some nefarious way, we did it the real way. We earned it. That's pride.
Well, this is a partnership that could transform neighborhoods. This week, the city of Cleveland announced a $20 million deal to bring low-cost internet to thousands of people.
Our community needs to be connected. Certain things you cannot do without an internet connection.
I mean, we ain't talking about the dial-up days no more. We talking about really making it a necessity, and it's very important.
You do anything and everything on the internet. TV's on the internet, looking for jobs, even having a job now. You can work from home because of the internet.
My major thing with the internet connection is I wanted it to be able to keep up with people and have them keep up with me, not just a voice, a face.
It's really important to have Clevelanders connected because this is our link to the future.
Mayor Justin Bibb saying in a tweet he's happy to announce the partnership, further ensuring that internet access should be a right for all Cleveland residents.
DigitalC has helped me with just life, just being able to be connected.
Everybody needs DigitalC. DigitalC is the place to be. They got the best service, man. That service impressed me so much. It changed my life.
Don't sleep on DigitalC. Don't sleep on DigitalC. We need them, and we need them to be in more communities.
The DigitalC and me are connected by Me understanding the hardships that the people of the inner city community that they go through of not having Wi-Fi. When I grew up, me and my family went through those hardships, and just understanding that having Wi-Fi in inner city communities allows those people to have the same access as everybody else in different communities, allowing people to work from home, allowing kids to get extra access on academic things that they might need, and just having different access to the world, the internet.
This is something that is not, oh, it just sounds good. No, this is actually going to be able to do something. Also, DigitalC is taking it a step further, going to door-to-door campaign, knocking, educating folks in the neighborhood, but also saying, we got affordable internet for you, and it's high speed. This is something you need.
So what personally motivates me to work toward DigitalC's mission is the fact that I am from Cleveland. I grew up in Cleveland, much like most of our staff, is that we're committed to building a better Cleveland for Clevelanders. And this service and all that we're doing centers around our city and around equity. So it's giving everyone, every child, every neighborhood, every resident the same opportunity to thrive in the digital world and not leave anyone behind.
The work is meaningful to me because it's truly about impact. My drive is driven off being able to help people. So being able to help the people in this organization go out and help residents in Cleveland is what keeps me going. You know, on the tough days, every day isn't going to be sunshine, especially in Cleveland, Ohio, but I look forward to waking up every day and coming to this building and getting to work.
I'd say the most rewarding part of my role is the people, both internally and externally. You know, if I'm looking for support from partners or funders, you know, Cleveland is a unique place, and you know, we all know that there are, you know, challenges and, you know, history that we have to overcome. So it's really energizing when you are in that space to talk to someone and ask for their support. But also internally, absolutely, it's also the people. Because when I'm writing these proposals or writing these grants, it's not the building. DigitalC doesn't go out into the community and connect people. That's our network engineers, it's our field technicians, and getting to know them, you know, personally and being able to tell that story, it's absolutely rewarding.
Keeping this team in particular motivated isn't hard. You know, we are an underdog city, and we're an underdog region within the Midwest. So many people count us out, and so when you have that kind of attitude towards you and embedded within you, that allows for motivation to be a consistent force that we see deployed all throughout our organization. This is something that everybody should feel some type of pride and ownership in building one of the greatest networks Cleveland has ever seen. We know our mission's compelling. We know the people here are giving it their all. And so it makes it easy to keep this group motivated, but it still requires us to be disciplined in doing it.
We are very aware that whenever we say the digital divide, yes, it boils down to those who have access to technology and those who don't, but the digital divide is a paradigm of inequity. And I need people to understand that it's a paradigm. So what you're seeing today is a paradigm shift.
Thanks for staying with us here. We begin this half hour with the effort to bring high-speed internet access to underserved areas of Northeast Ohio, which took a major step forward today.
The press conference was pride. I remember just feeling proud of our city, that we had every public official represented.
In 2020, at the height of the pandemic, Cleveland was ranked one of the most least connected cities in the nation, at the bottom of the list. And as the pandemic took shape, then the City Council allocated $20 million to make sure we had a strategy to go from being the least connected to now one of the most connected cities. And so it's so important that we had a strategy to make sure that every resident had access to affordable internet.
Governor DeWine in Cleveland this afternoon to announce a major investment that will expand access to low-cost, high-speed service to all of Cleveland in just 18 months.
Today we're announcing that plans to significantly expand high-speed wireless internet in Cleveland are officially moving forward. To get the project off the ground, we are providing DigitalC with a $10 million grant.
Laugh was one of the first to sign up, so what would he say to someone who says it sounds too good to be true?
I didn't believe it either, but when you get that $18 bill in the mail, you'll believe it, trust me.
When I called, I really thought it was a joke. I was like, no way can they deliver that kind of service for that price. Yes, they can.
You can't beat that. I mean, I'm talking about that right there is number one, that affordable price and no installation cost.
Make no mistake, while our product is $18 a month, it's because we make it $18 a month. That product in any other marketplace would not be $18 a month. What we are deploying is not discounted technology. We make it discounted because that's the mission and it requires us to do that.
That's how this should be. That you took every level of government and then you took the people and you coexisted. And we all agreed on it. We've now built the bedrock for success because it's all about relationships. And those relationships in that room, the conviction and bridging this digital divide, it was felt. So I was proud. I was proud of everybody in there. When the total eclipse happened here in Cleveland, it was described as Cleveland was at the doorstep of the solar system. That the sky opened up just for us and revealed itself to us. And people were inspired by astronomy and this wonder that unfolded in front of them. And I would tell people, okay, that happened, and that was once in a million years, so to speak, that it happened the way it did. I'm telling you, DigitalC, what we're building here is much of the same. The technology, the connections that we're making from a familial residential standpoint, our work here at the Tech Hive, the people here.
And I would like to welcome you all to DigitalC's citywide network launch party. I hope you can sense my excitement. I'm incredibly excited. Are you all excited?
The launch party, that was exciting because when we're at a press conference, you know, you're sharing the stage. The launch party, that was DigitalC's stage. And it just felt incredible to see not only media showing up, but family, friends, and people just being inspired. I could see it in their eyes. As I'm communicating, I'm seeing people. I'm seeing hope. We use the term digital revolution. That was intentional because we saw it to be a revolution. It needed to be. That we weren't gonna say it was gonna be a digital change. Change isn't even the right word for this. This is a revolution.
The Midtown Tech Hive is actually the headquarters for DigitalC. And that's extremely important because that positions us in the center of our entire customer base. Okay, we can better serve the customer because we know the customer, because we are the customer.
I'm like, man, bringing hope to a city that for so long we just stumble. We don't get things right. We get partial success, and we gotta oversubscribe to it and really lift it up. It's like, no, that was real. And I saw people, there was a gentleman who came up to me afterwards and said, you know what? I was on the fence. I'm a believer. Whatever you need, I'm ready. This is meant to change the entire status quo and disrupt the way we think, disrupt the way we operate. We had to evolve into a different species as a nonprofit to punch the way we punch now. And having the community and all of our friends and family members just present with us, to celebrate with us, to laugh with us, to be inspired with us, those moments, that's special.
Tonight, yes, I want to welcome you to this party, but I also want to welcome you to history. All right.
I wanted to tell someone, like, man, you know, I dressed up for a funeral. It was a digital divide, it's not ours. Like, you gotta go.
Hey, hold on, wait. Wait, is that my car? Hey, 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 no, hey, that's my car! Hey, hey! Yo, man, chill out. Hey, look, I got the keys right here, man. What's up, man? What you doing?
I'm sorry, bro. You on the repo list.
What you mean it's on the repo list? If it wasn't for these high internet bills, I'd be able to pay my car note, man.
High internet bills?
Yeah.
You ain't hit the Digital C?
Digital C.
Yeah, man. Digital C, they connect in the city. Man, high-speed internet for just $18 a month.
$18 a month?
Yeah.
For real?
Visit digitalc.org. They're gonna get you together.
Okay.
I like that. That's a pack of diapers, man.
That's nice, man.
But listen, visit that website. I'll get with you.
Hey, wait.
Hey, I still need my car, man. Hey, wait a minute. Hey.
I'm doing all the training, making sure that whatever people want to learn on their computers or on technology, that we're developing a way to teach them to do that. So whether it's a curriculum or a workshop or a class.
I am a student in the computer class. The class goes for 6 weeks.
They're fantastic. For me, I'm learning more about the use of the computer.
Today, the teacher, LaDonna, said that they were going to have this drone flying event. If you've never flown a drone before, this will be the time to come out and try it out. So I thought, oh great, I'm going to do that.
And I just wanted to see how to fly a drone is all about.
We are currently at League Park in Cleveland, Ohio. We're here at a drone community event. The awesome kids at TechBots with the TechBots program, which is promoted by DigitalC and Cleveland State. They are teaching me, myself, and different members of the kind of Huff, Superior, St. Clair neighborhood in Cleveland how to fly drones and kind of connecting to different people throughout the neighborhood with different types of technology.
You have to have like different connections to get you places, because if you don't do like your research, you won't be anywhere. And so like my mom, my friends, my family, they helped me, they connected me with this program. Like I want to be a pilot when I grow up. And so me getting my drone license is helping me learn how to become a pilot, because some of the same mechanisms with a drone is some of the same with the plane, because the plane is just like a giant drone. And so it teaches you how to fly drones, and it also teaches you some parts of flying planes. I just really like this day. It's like it's nice outside, and I get to do what I love to do. Just fly drones and learn about aviation.
And thanks to my DigitalC installer to tell me about this course. And that's the reason I'm taking it. I wasn't doing as much constructive thinking and the use of my mind that I felt that I used to do. And I am a firm believer, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
You don't want to be stuck in not knowing and understanding new technologies.
And I loved it. It was so exciting. I was really impressed that I learned how to do something.
So that was so very exciting. So at least you know what a drone does, and you hope that one is never at your bedroom window.
At your bedroom window.
Up close, when you had someone who had dwindling hope that I'm never going to figure this out. I wasn't good in school, so why would I be good in another classroom? I for real don't know what I'm doing at all. And, you know, my nephew might have showed me to click around a little bit, but I don't really know this stuff. The humility and aspirations that these residents have, I mean, our drive is unmatched here as a city. The resilience is unmatched here as a city.
And it will open up the darkness and give it light. Our love is beautiful. Yes, it's true. I can't get you out of my mind, no. You make me feel good inside. You can be on the internet all day, every day, taking care of your business. You know, if you're trying to make money and make the internet work for you, you need cheap, affordable, good working internet. DigitalC is it. I had a neighbor downstairs and they had it. I said, what internet? They said, see that Cleveland internet. I said, they got an internet? I said, yeah, here. And I went online and seen it. I went on this laptop right here. I said, oh man. I called them up. They came out, gave them a little body. No installation. I said, it was perfect. They was right on time.
So basically what I'm about to be doing is I'm going to get our surge protector here. I'm going to go mount it on the side of our customer's house. That's going to make sure that all of our equipment is grounded and protected from any electrical issues we might have.
First of all, the guys that came out and hooked the internet for me, they were so professional. Man, these guys went up on the side of the house, put that thing in a spot, and came in, hooked it up. Everything that y'all guys came out and did was perfect, A110 perfect. Me and my family sure do appreciate it. And there's a lot of families that I know that don't got internet service. You know, they're unable to have it.
I'm just excited to get out here and help these people get internet. A lot of our customers have actually never had internet access before, which I found crazy when I first started working here. I was like, wow, we've had customers that have never had the internet their whole lives.
That's the thing that I actually am proud of, our specifically our install team. I mean, everybody goes above and beyond here, but that team, they're going into every home. There's not a home that we haven't gone into. We went into every home to install. That's knocking on the door, hey, how you doing? That's building that relationship. We're smelling what they're cooking. Or we're also seeing when they haven't ate. We see everything. And so having that relationship with them, we see Cleveland. We see Cleveland for what it is. We don't see Cleveland for what people tell it to be, the stats that try and define it, both good and bad and dressed up. We see the real. And in seeing the real, you'll see when residents get something and it works, the way that they care.
So it's important not only that we have a service that's affordable, that's reliable. You need the internet, you need it, and you need a company that cares about you and your business and your family. This is one of the things that DigitalC has really impressed me with. Customer service has been outstanding. So to get high speed, reliable service, and good customer service, well, that's not a hard sell. Once I tell them my experience, they trust me because they know we've been in business and we rely on good service. We rely on businesses that, they produce what they say they can produce. They perform well. We rely on that as a business. So they know that they can rely on my word of mouth. Word of mouth is powerful. Yeah, that's what I would say. I'd say from my experience, this is what I have gotten. I've gotten nothing but great service and reliable service from a company that is doing business in our community.
Well, I would say my first thing is what I've been doing with my friends and neighbors is telling them the price is excellent, number one, and the service has been great. We're just so happy, so satisfied, so happy we changed to DigitalC.
The price was very reasonable. Once we got it installed, we were very satisfied. And we haven't had any problems since. This was in 2020, we first had installation. And the customer service is excellent.
Awesome.
When we call and inquire, very respectful. And we really like that type of service, and they handle it speedily.
Yep.
So I had kind of grown up immersed in technology. Like I remember having internet in the early 90s when it was kind of just a new thing. And then when I came to work for DigitalC, like learning that large parts of the community just like had never even had the opportunity to have internet access at all was wild to me. It was like, what? So not only is it awesome that we get to help these people who have never had this opportunity before, but going out and giving them like great customer service and then great usable internet service as well. It just like really makes, the hard work all worth it.
We're right here in the middle of Outhwaite community, which was one of the first public housing estates built in the early 1930s, 1940s. At this time period, we don't have this. Some of these are the same infrastructure that was built in the 1930s. So you talking about access to internet, that was not even a thing then. So now when you come about people living here, when you talk about 400 or 500 units and you start talking about residents, a lot of them don't have it. And I can say right here, we're in 1 mile radius, we have about 6 schools. So imagine I got internet at school, but I don't got internet at home to do the work or to look up the assignments, to be able to go online. If you recall, CMSD has now transitioned checking your kids' grades to being able to check it online.
As you can see, we're sitting in what I like to call ground zero, where all of our equipment comes in and out of. This part is a very crucial step in connecting the community, especially me and my team here, being mainly Jermaine. He and I make sure everything is ready to go for the customer, ready to go for our network builds, ready to go for the install guys. You name it, we do it here. We dispatch all of our MDU stuff here, multi-dwelling units, MDU. We make sure all the equipment's here, all the materials are here, and without any of that, no one would be connected in the city.
This isn't a one-way street of value here. I'm not just delivering value, DigitalC's not just delivering value to residents. It's a two-way street because residents are now expressing such joy that it strengthens our conviction. So we don't deliver if it wasn't for Cleveland.
Never buffered once. If I try that with any other service, swirling, just swirling and swirling, you know. I put a post on my Facebook and everybody was calling me like, man, for real, is that real? And I got like about 20 or 30 people that came after me, you know, and I told them, I was like, man, go to this service, man. And the service is just phenomenal. You start with communication. If everybody's on the same page, it'd be a good thing for our community.
To watch things go from in a box and in a cabinet to actually being live and on air and having people connected, it's a very gratifying feeling to know that we played a very intricate role in that and getting things in and out of here in a timely fashion. We are very focused and determined to get this network built. And 6 months into the year now, I feel like we've done a very good job with the hiccups that we've had, getting what we need to get on site and get people connected on the city.
We've been very satisfied with their affordability. That was one of the primary draws when we first got the advertisement that made us reconsider our current internet provider and made us decide to switch. During the pandemic, I was home a lot for work, so working remotely, so I used it quite a bit for meetings that were virtual, and so that was very useful to have then because it was a lot of meetings throughout the day that I couldn't be in person, and so I was constantly on my computer for meetings.
They've always been really, really good about communicating, and that's something that I hold just in high regard, or is a very valuable thing for me.
What motivates me is for sure the customer side of it, and to see someone who never had the internet get connected with the internet for the first time and either open that on a laptop or on their phone, and just to see the look in their eye when the possibilities are endless. And for people to not have the internet is sad. It's you know, they're not able to advance in their life without the internet. And to see people connect for the first time, it's so gratifying and it's so fulfilling, you know, and that's why I'm here. I'm doing this, you know, for the people of Cleveland. The people of Cleveland deserve this. The people of Cleveland need this, and we're here to provide it.
Thank you so much for the work that you do, for caring about your customers. I think that's truly unique in this age where we are kind of disconnected, and we just appreciate your passion for the community.
I think, honestly, the challenges that we've faced have been more external than internal. I think because, you know, we are the last person in line in this race, people are counting us out. But I don't think we should be counted out. The people that are here doing this love what they're doing, want to see it succeed, and are going to drive to make it succeed. If we could get more of that type of drive and that type of ownership from people that we're working in collaboration with, then I believe that we're going to be able to be very successful and that this is going to be driven. There are people in place, you know, when we're trying to work on getting permitting and a number of things taken care of that may not see why and how important this is. I think some of the bigger challenges in dealing with network operations is timing. A lot of that is because we're coordinating with, you know, the city and with different locations to do installations of the network. So when we're building towers or doing rooftops, you know, there's a lot in place, and you know, between connecting with our A&E firms who do our drawings all the way up to putting in permitting with the city, and then again coordinating with our general contractors, it's just such a number of things that have to be done to get everything to fall into place. So I approach it in a number of ways. One is having a lot of forethought and being diligent in it. So by expanding our network, we can do a lot of things, of course, and one of those things that really helps is network saturation. By putting the right sites in the key places to begin with, gives us the ability to kind of be a little more relaxed in how we approach other sites we're building.
It all comes down to the residents. When I've interacted with residents, there was a gentleman when we were out door knocking in Glenville. He prayed for me. And I remember his car was locked, the window was half cracked, he was older. And he's like, man, can you get my keys? And I got the long arms, so I reached in, I got the keys and did that. And my first interaction with him, because I knocked on his door for his house, I'm not interested in whatever you're selling. Okay, fair enough. Can I just leave this flyer? Sure. Then after that, he's like, so what are you doing? And I explained, he's like, that's you in this flyer? And he took both my hands and he was just like, Father God, right now, I want to pray for this brother's success. I want to pray that this network that he's building, that it never fails. And it's like, as he's praying, I'm getting goosebumps because I could feel the authenticity in his prayers. And that's an authentic interaction with just a random stranger I knocked on the doors within Cleveland. I said, man, this is where we need to be. Connecting the unconnected isn't just technology, it's people too. And having that personal interaction with that man on that street in Glenville, it lit a fire in me to say, no, we're doing this and we're gonna win this. This year has been a year of growth for us, immaculate growth. And as you know, with growth comes growing pains.
I can tell you there's still confusion out there. You know, some people are still caught up in this thing, as I'm finding out, that if it seems too good to be true, they think it is not true.
And right now we do not know what work on this contract was actually completed.
I think we're being asked to accept the numbers that were provided.
I think we're being asked to project in good faith, and I have no reason for engaging in that relationship.
And we expect delivery. We expect delivery. Because what I've learned at this table, it's like basic physics. For every action, there's a reaction. And if we don't get the action, then there's a reaction, and the reaction might not be what you like.
You guys have put us in a very awkward situation with not being able to achieve your goals. And part of me agrees with Councilman Harsh, but part of me also says we're in a 4-year contract, and if we hold you up, the only people that are going to suffer are our residents, and we're here for our residents.
We're doing this for Clevelanders, and we're doing this for the sake of our neighborhoods being connected. I still think the partnership between the city and DigitalC is such that we need to be patient, we need to be diligent, but we also need to give them room to grow.
When you are in the business of changing lives, that rests on you. So when I go home, I'm not only thinking about when a team member here has a baby, and that's one more person I'm thinking through. Like I gotta make sure that they're good. They're gonna be good regardless, but I have to make sure that they are. In addition to that, the families that we're connecting. Whenever someone has maybe a subpar experience with us, maybe just that day you had a flat tire, someone got into a car accident, one of our fleet vehicles, and things just keep going wrong at times. That resident who took off work, now all of a sudden didn't get internet because we had to delay it another day. See, that type of stuff weighs on me because like the brand is a promise of an experience to the prospective customer. And so if we're at any point the brand degrades throughout this entire cycle, I take that almost personally because I'm putting my heart in the work that we do, and I know my team is doing the same. So this year has been an incredibly inspiring year, but it has not had its shortage of challenges either. And some of those, a lot of those are just out of the scope of our control. So we can control, and we accept the things that we can't. The challenges that I would say we face, I can compartmentalize them. Internally, shifting from, again, this nonprofit where, we were, in many cases, very charitable with our time, but not as structured as we should have been or could have been. And so I think just putting structure around people and their thinking and getting everybody regimented to some extent, that's been a challenge because you have some people who are like, hey, look, I'm a creative. like, don't put these parameters around me. And it's like, no, we need to at the very least set our organization up so that way we can scale accordingly. We can't scale amorphously. We need to scale intentionally. And so changing that culture has been, in many cases, one of the greatest challenges I've had. People have heard me say this before, but wires and technology are easy. People are hard.
To me, connection goes beyond words. Connection is, in my own personal life, is being connected to my own resources.
Connection to me just means not having a barrier.
As you grow and realize connections are more and more, they're the people you're with, they're the bonds you have, they're the city you love, they're a number of things.
The big part of connection is communication, and without communication, you got devastation.
Connection in some ways means independence to me. Like I said, I can order something online now if I want to. I can call and order Uber Eats or call and get a ride. I don't have to have somebody else do it.
Being able to be woke and being able to be connected to what's going on in my community.
When you really connect with something or someone, whether it's a person or idea, you feel it. But it's just something that's known almost instantly.
Connections are important because if you can look at somebody and have a connection, if you can feel that connection through a device, if you can see that connection down the street, you're able to close those connections. You're able to bring people out, and then that brings that connection farther and farther across.
Because if you disconnect it, you may not be able to get the help that you need. The help that you need could be just right next door to you, but because you are not connected, you lost.
Connection means to me still feeling like you're a part of something.
Whether it's to something that you want to do, you want to apply for something, you want to, go further in your education, or you want to talk to loved ones, having that connection there, just you don't feel that overwhelming obstacle of I can't, no matter what it is. It's not a luxury anymore, it's a necessity.
Connection means a group of things, intertwining to find a better mission for themselves. Connection can also be meeting new people. Connection can also be just saying hello when you walk past someone. It could be a simple thing to just opening the door. That type of connection can lead to all different type of things in our world.
So connecting to the true source is connecting to ourselves and healing, to our community that needs healing, to connecting to a canopy, which also provides a different avenue of connection. Then they have the ability here to, I believe, connect other people, to themselves.
Being in this industry, it's funny to have this question because everybody would automatically assume that connections has to do with Wi-Fi. They have to do with being driven to make that first data connection and everything like that. But it's the distant ends of those. It's what that's doing for other people. It's bringing people into this age and this time who may have never had the opportunity to do that.
So connection connection is the anti-division. When we begin connecting with people, we are now sharing something. And in us connecting people, our network has grown exponentially, not from technology. It hasn't grown from us having some incredible marketing that Valerie did. It has grown from word of mouth. So connection to us from a technology standpoint, well, that's our lifeline. But the residents and their connection amongst themselves and with us, that's our purpose being fulfilled. And so we don't see a pathway of success or victory without our residents.
Who can say that we can have forever, we can last together, they don't know who we are. Like stars in the sky, we will shine the better, they will know never, and their life was like.
And so as I look at the future, I'm hopeful. I have high aspirations, and everywhere where we touch, Cleveland will be reflected in that. Whether we're in Cleveland or outside of Cleveland, people are going to feel Cleveland's influence. And that's a declaration.
I'm Jalen Hollinger, and I'm driven to connect.
I'm Sky, and I'm driven to connect.
I'm Chanel Miller, and I'm driven to connect.
My name is Mr. Frank, and I'm driven to connect.
My name is Magda Ellis, and I'm driven to connect.
I'm O.C. May Neal, and I'm driven to connect.
I'm Valerie Jerome, and I'm driven to connect.
I'm Alejandro, and I'm driven to connect.
My name is Star Being, and I'm driven to connect.
I am Sophie Absolutely, and I'm driven to connect.